welcome to the Mum Boss at Home community. This is your onboarding video and your welcome video, and me answering all your questions from the last couple of days. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope that you find this really, really useful. I'm going to start with some admin, and then I'm going to go into your questions and helping you get set up. I guess the first thing to think about is this first week, you're going to want to go in all guns blazing and try and do everything perfectly. And what I want you to understand is that's not going to get you the results that you want. Okay, so I'm going to cough. Honestly, I'm sick of this cough now. That's not going to get you the results that you want. You've all, if you haven't already, you will have received all of your targets so far. And you will be given some habits that I want you to work on. For some of you, they are tweaks to what you're already doing. For others of you, for example, you are at the moment living a really sedentary life and barely making it, to a couple of thousand steps every day. So I've challenged you, to get in some short walks, and that's going to require some effort and some planning on your part. And so what I want you to remember is there's no such thing as perfection. If you get to Wednesday and you don't manage to track your calories, if that's what you've chosen to do, if you don't manage to get your veg or your protein in, or another workout, or hit your calories, that's fine. Just draw a line under it and move on. And you will hear me saying this time and time and time again, because the biggest thing that trips you up and has tripped you up in the past is this all or nothing mentality. Okay, I have to do it perfectly or I don't do it at all, and I'm either on the wagon or I'm off the wagon. If you haven't listened to the podcasts from my 5-day reset, which I ran last week, I recommend that you go back and you listen to them, because they will really help you to set up your mindset so that you are doing this in a way that is going to produce the best results, both physically, but also in how you're feeling about achieving those results. So please do go back and listen to those if you haven't. So this first week, you've got a member site full of resources. Take a few whizzes around there. Come and join the live workouts. Do them on replay if you want to, if you can't make them live. And I would love you to just take this week to really learn, ask questions, and not try to be perfect. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, the WhatsApp group. It can be quite busy in WhatsApp groups. It's been quite busy today. It was quite busy yesterday. And I would imagine that these first couple of days, when people are receiving their targets, it will get busier. That WhatsApp group is a tool for you to receive support from me, from other people, but you do not, and I've said this in the WhatsApp group itself and in various other places, you do not need to read and reply to every message in that WhatsApp group. There is an announcements chat. Anything important and urgent will go in the announcements chat. So make sure that you are checking the announcements chat, even if it's a couple of days and you don't look at the main WhatsApp group. But on the same token, please, if you need help, reach out via WhatsApp. That's the way to contact me, okay? So you don't need to spend hours and hours a day looking at that WhatsApp group. That's my job. It's my job to coach you all in that WhatsApp group. It's not your job to read and respond to everyone else's messages. Details for the WhatsApp group. No, details for the workouts. Details for your nutrition guide, your meal suggestions, everything. Everything you need is on there. Again, dip in and out. There's a few things I need you to look at. So definitely look at the nutrition guide, definitely look at the meal suggestions and look at the tracker. There's also, at the moment, there's some goal setting resources on there, which if you need help with goal setting, you can absolutely utilize those as well. And I will keep adding to the resources for that. If you are struggling with the member site, please do let me know. Okay, workouts. So a few people have asked about the workouts. The workout schedule is also on the member site. Most of the sessions are Mondays and Fridays at 6:30 a.m. There's one exception, which I think is the 15th of February, because I'm going to Barcelona on the 16th, so I need to do the workout on Thursday the 15th. Some of you have said that time doesn't work for you. And unfortunately, I can't please everyone. I recognise that that time won't work for every single person, but that's the time it's set at. We've got people dialing in from Canada, we've got people dialing in from other areas of Europe, and some people are morning people, some people are evening people. But all of those workouts will be available on demand. It's a workout with me rather than a personal training session. So on demand will be exactly the same. You will still be working out with me. It just won't be on Zoom. It will be on YouTube. You'll need some dumbbells for those workouts. So I recommend a set of either 2 4 kilograms or 2 5 kilograms, depending on how strong you are. If you want to get a kettlebell, you could also get a 6 or an 8 kilogram kettlebell. And I've also suggested, which you should have received on email, some resistance bands. So all of the live workouts will be 30 minutes. They'll be energetic, they'll be fun. And you'll be working out with me. And then the on-demand workouts are kind of short, sharp 15-20 minute workouts as well. Okay, so that's admin. Let's move into your questions then. So just going through them, there's a few on food here. So Jackie said, is there anything that she needs to prep in terms of meal prep lists or meal plans? No, I don't give meal plans. The reason I don't give you meal plans is if I gave you a meal plan for the next 6 weeks, you'd make exactly what was on that meal plan. And then if you decided to leave the community, you would have only learned what I'd put on that meal plan. There's no reason why you can't eat similar to what you're eating now with a few tweaks. So make sure you read that nutrition guide, and make sure you look at how to build your meals, because that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to teach you how to build your meals. Okay. Some guidelines: have protein with every single meal. So build all of your meals around your protein. So ideally you should be eating 100 grams of protein per day, and that's 100 grams of protein content, not 100 grams of protein-based food. So for example, 100 grams of chicken thigh, it doesn't contain 100 grams of protein. So you need to think about that. I want you to be eating at least 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. If you're counting your calories, I want you to try and stay within your range. And remember that nothing is banned. Unless it's bad for you or you're allergic to it, nothing is banned. So if you want a biscuit, you can have a biscuit, but there's some guidelines around that as well. If you can try to stick to only 1 or 2 meals a day. So not 1 or 2 meals a day, 1 or 2 snacks a day. So 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then 1 or 2 snacks. Tracy asked a question about adding protein, in particular protein for lunch. So again, I'm going to refer you to the nutrition guide, which gives you a list of all the different protein sources there are. They're not brands. It's just an idea of, what protein sources there are. You mentioned that you have full fat Greek yogurt for breakfast, but that you're struggling to get more protein in. Full fat Greek yogurt is great for protein. So a 200 gram portion of full fat Greek yogurt, and I'm thinking, well, actually, I'm thinking about total 5% yogurt, which is not full fat. So total 5%, 200 grams of that is about 18 grams of protein. So I roughly want you eating 20 to 30 grams a day. So you could increase that a little bit more. You could have 0% fat Greek yogurt, which has slightly more protein in it as well. You said that you're sprinkling granola in there, but you're really aware that granola is high in sugar. So I use an Aldi protein granola. I mean, it's not super high in protein, but it's better than a lot of the other commercial ones. There are granolas out there that are a bit lower in sugar. Just be careful of the ones that say high in protein. Often they're high in protein because they just contain a shed load of nuts, which means they also contain a shed load of calories. This Aldi one doesn't contain nuts. The one I have is the cranberry one. And I just have a sprinkle of that on top of my Greek yogurt with either frozen fruit or fresh fruit. And I sometimes mix my protein powder into my Greek yogurt. I'm guessing from the comments you made about protein yogurts, you might not like the consistency of that. But there's other things you can have for breakfast as well. So, what I would say actually about the protein yogurt or the Greek yogurt is you're probably not having enough. So increase your portion of Greek yogurt. You can also try skyr yogurt, SKYR. That's 0% fat as standard and high in protein. But you could have other things for breakfast. You could have eggs, you could have an omelette, you could have chicken sausages, pre-cook some chicken sausages. They're great for calories and for protein levels. So have a look at the food guide and have a look at what's in there. Jackie also asked for meal ideas. So again, look at the member site and meal ideas. This is where asking within the group is really going to come to the forefront, because I eat a certain way, and I stick to what I know within my family, and everyone is the same. It's not a bad idea if you don't have any to invest in maybe a decent cookbook. I'm really enjoying Board of Lunch at the moment. The BBC Good Food website is great for recipes. And as I said before, there's no reason why you can't eat what you would normally eat with a few tweaks. Okay. So yeah, read the nutrition guide and base all of your meals around protein. Add your fruit and veg and any additional carbs that you want with that meal. But remember, the protein, fruit and veg should be the main part of your meal. I know you travel a lot, so for you it's going to be things that are going to be portable rather than, I'm guessing, eating out of service stations or, M&S or Sainsbury's or whatever. So, things like portable pasta salads and stuff like that. And I put a post on about this on Instagram, which I know, Jackie, you're not on Instagram, but in Aldi at the moment, they've got such a great selection of fitness equipment, but also just things to help you with your goals. So they've got some of those hot and cold food flasks. They're not a big, tall drinks flask. It's quite a squat, fat flask, and you can put hot and cold food in there, and it can stay, it'll stay hot for the rest of the day. So something like, a chicken pasta salad with some sauce. I know you don't like red vegetables, but some kind of sauce and the vegetables that you like. I know you like green veg. Planning, when it comes to meals, planning is key. So I would love for you to get into the routine on a Saturday or Sunday, this is everyone, of planning your meals for the next day. Maybe get a magnetic meal planner for the fridge or a whiteboard or something like that, where you can plan out what your meals are going to be for the rest of that week. I always sit down, so I do my online shop on a Thursday and I roughly know what I'm going to get, and then on a Saturday and a Sunday, Saturday or a Sunday, I refine that shopping list and just make sure I know exactly what we're eating on what day. And then the shopping comes on a Monday. So I've got time on a Sunday to edit it. And then we also, one of the things that I recommend to a lot of my clients is having staple meals within the household. So, little fact for you, most families eat a circulation of about 10 meals across 2 weeks. So by that I mean, they might have meatballs one week and then spag bowl another week and then chili another week, but it's a rotation of about 10 meals. That's really normal. We don't need to make this complicated by having to cook Michelin star different meals every day. So for example, on a Monday, our dinner is always stir fry, because sometimes the shopping slot I get is 5 till 6, and then I know that Monday's dinner is something that is only going to take me 15 minutes. I don't have to defrost anything. It literally all goes in a wok. The protein goes in an air fryer and it's done by 6:15. If the shopping doesn't come until 5 to 6, it's on the table by 6:30. And we always have that on a Monday. On a Wednesday and Thursday, I work in the evening, so I need to make sure that dinner is something super quick that I can eat so that I'm free to work in the evenings. So don't be afraid of routine. In fact, routine and structure are going to lead you to success. Okay. A couple of other things that I noticed from people's questions and some of the forms as well is where people are maybe missing breakfast and or lunch. I have nothing against structured fasting if that's how you want to control your calories. Sometimes when I'm going to the gym at about 9:30 in the morning, I won't eat my breakfast till I come home, which is considered a fast. But I do that because I don't actually want to be eating my breakfast at about 8:00. It's too early for me. So I'm not doing it too fast specifically. But if you are skipping lots of meals and you are doing that regularly, you will be overeating in the evening, but you will also be underfueling yourself. If you're then finding that it gets to 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon and you are needing to snack because you've run out of energy and you've hit a wall, that's because you're skipping your meals. So what I would rather you do is have bigger meals, so trying to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then less snacks. If you're skipping your meals because you're traveling a lot, what can you have on the go? Smoothies, maybe hard-boiled eggs with a couple of pieces of fruit or veg, prepping a little yogurt pot or something that you can maybe have when you get to your destination, or if you're on a train, have on the train. If you're not a lover of fruit and veg, how can you prep it differently? I'm a massive fan of grating veg into things. I used to do that a lot with my son when he wouldn't eat vegetables, when he went through a bit of a fussy phase. He doesn't really like courgettes, but now he'll just pick out the big bits. At the end of the day, fruit and veg is vital for your health. Okay, and you're all adults, so fruit and veg is vital for your health, to keep you healthy for a long time. And so, yes, it's important for weight loss because it adds volume for quite low calories, but it's also vital for your health. So there, I would love for you to try, all of you be trying to get those 5 fruit and veggies in, and maybe trying some different ways of cooking and preparing your fruit and veg to try and help with that. Jack had a question about fueling for exercise. So Jack is training for the London Marathon, and she said that she's finding it hard to get her fueling right for her runs, in that when she does a daytime long run, she is really struggling to then not want to eat everything for the rest of the day. So Jack, I'd love for you to let me know how many long runs you're doing every week and how long they are. What I would say is make sure, so you, in your question, Jack, you said, do I just need to eat more protein. I want you to make sure you're eating protein and carbs in every single meal, okay? You need to maybe try and eat something before you go for your run and then refuel afterwards. But again, knowing you, Jack, and knowing how you eat, what I would really like you to do is focus on those decent meal sizes rather than snacking and grazing through the day. Emma had a question about check-ins and progress. So Emma's question was, what is the check-in process and how do we measure our progress? Great question. So there's a couple of things I want to point you to. On the member site, there is a tracker that you can use, which you can tick off the boxes of your habits every day for the next 6 weeks. So you can be ticking off your habits. And you can, on the back of that tracker, you can make a note of your weekly, so you can make a note of your start, weight and measurements, and then you can do that every week and then obviously take one at the end. What I'm doing is making that an editable document. At the moment, it's just a printable document. I know some of you are really visual, so I'm going to make that an editable PDF for you. But what I would say is, with regards to weighing yourself, and I'm sure this will be talked about quite a lot, is many of us are used to just weighing ourselves once a week. And then what we don't take into consideration, particularly if we weigh ourselves, let's say on a Sunday, which will be your check-in day, the day I send you a check-in form, is we tend to eat a little bit more at the weekends. So you might have, ticked all the boxes all week, but I've lost my camera again. I don't understand what's going on. There we go. You may have ticked the boxes all week, but then maybe you had a bigger meal on Saturday, you weigh yourself on Sunday and you've put on a couple of pounds because of the bigger meal. However, actually, if you'd weighed yourself on Wednesday or Thursday, you might have been a pound or two lighter. So what I want you to do is think about this. You've got a couple of choices. You can either weigh yourself every day and take note of the natural fluctuations that the body has, and then on a Sunday for check-in, give me the lightest weight of the week. You can just weigh yourself once a month, or you can completely ignore the scales and just focus on body measurements and maybe take some progress pictures of yourself. The decision is up to you. Okay, so each Sunday I'll post a check-in form link in the WhatsApp group, and you will have until 8 a.m. on Monday morning to complete that check-in. Then check-ins will be switched off. So if you haven't completed the check-in by 8 a.m. on the Monday morning, then you've missed your chance. I will ask you questions on that check-in form about how your week has gone, what your wins are, what your challenges have been, what you're struggling with. And I would love for you to be as detailed as possible in that check-in form. The more detail you can give me, the more help I can give you back. Okay. And then I will collate the feedback and post it as a podcast, and it will be anonymous. So don't worry if someone's, got some quite personal problem that they don't want their name attached to. They're not going to have their name attached to it. Okay, quite a few of you asked questions about how you manage having a sweet tooth. So there was a good few of you there. So there's a couple of things to say about this. It's okay to fancy something sweet at the end of a meal. We call this dessert belly. Okay, so, I'm full up, but I do have room for dessert. There's some science involved in dealing with this, but there's also a bit of parenting yourself, okay, and a bit of discipline. I'm not going to call it willpower, I'm going to call it discipline. So first action I want you to take is more protein and more fruit and veg. If you are full up and you are still reaching for the chocolate, the biscuits and the sweets, then we know that it's your brain seeking something rather than your stomach. We know that you're not hungry because you are full up. It's something else, okay? The second thing to think about here is not banning yourself. I don't want you to ban yourself from anything that you need. I need to take a drink. Anything that you need. Why did I say that? That you would normally eat. So if you like a couple of squares of chocolate after dinner, have a couple of squares of chocolate, but make it a couple of squares. If you like a biscuit with your tea in the evening, who doesn't? Have a biscuit with your tea, okay? But some of this is about parenting yourself, okay? Now, I know there was mention of ADHD in the WhatsApp group and how that can make you really impulsive. And I'm going to use the words that you used in the chat, which was, I scoffed 10 milk tray in a row. Would you let your children scoff 10 milk tray in a row? I'm betting the answer is no. So some of this is about parenting yourself and understanding what it is that you are trying to do. And you already said in your message, I think it's the way that my brain gets its dopamine hit. Okay, so if that's what it is, we need to find other ways of your brain getting its dopamine hit. Okay. You do need to limit your indulgences a bit. We don't need to ban them, but we do need to limit them. So if we're eating 10 milk tray, but we're doing that every day, every other day, is that really an indulgence, or is that just a normal part of life? When I was looking through some of what you all eat on a daily basis, I can see that there's treats in there, but there's not necessarily, maybe one treat a day. There's 2, 3, 4, 5 treats a day. It's not really a treat. It's just part of your normal diet. So, I love biscuits, and I know Stacey mentioned in the chat as well, she loved biscuits, and she shares her story about when she used to eat a packet of biscuits on a Saturday and then the same again on a Sunday, and now she doesn't do that anymore. She doesn't ban herself from biscuits, but she doesn't need to eat the whole packet all the time. I love biscuits. I don't buy them that often. I just had to go and tell my son off because he was thumping around his bedroom, and his bedroom's right next door to my office. So yeah, you don't need to. I don't buy biscuits every week on the shopping, because I would eat 2 or 3. I'd probably eat 2 every day, and I don't need to eat 2 every day. I'm a small woman. 2 biscuits is about 150 calories that I don't need to be eating every day. So that's where I would say you really need to parent yourself. Okay. If you want one biscuit with your tea pen, I have one biscuit, but I think someone else put this on the chat. There's not necessarily a replacement for biscuits and treats, but it is about limiting yourself. And like I said earlier, it's about getting your dopamine hit elsewhere. What else do you enjoy? How else can you feel good? Because when we eat something like that, biscuits, chocolate, our dopamine goes up, but also our blood glucose goes up. We feel good, but then it all crashes back down again. And the way that dopamine works is, if we then don't give ourselves some more, we go into this like little mini depression. So actually we want to find other things other than food, sweet, sugar, alcohol that make us feel good. Okay. And that's why self-care is such a huge part of this process, is about finding the other things that make us feel good. Now, other reasons that you might seek out sugar, and I know sleep was mentioned in this question as well. So if you're tired, you will reach for sugar. If you're emotional, you might reach for sugar. And with the sleep point, I know that there's, with some of you, kids are a factor in this as well. And that's really tricky, because you can't stop the kids waking up. But what I want you to ask yourself is, are you doing everything you can to make sure you get enough sleep? So if you know the kids are likely to wake up 3, 4, 5 times a week, are you still sitting up till 11, 12, 1 o'clock watching Netflix, when actually you could go to bed at 11 and get a bit more sleep? So what are you doing everything you can? And then a few of you suggested that you found some substitutions helpful for things like chocolate and cakes and stuff. And what I would say is the following. So, if things like Skinny Whip bars or Fiber One bars or protein bars even, or chocolate puddings and chocolate mousses are helpful for you, that's great. If they just take away that edge, I love me a little chocolate pudding at the end of dinner, and that does stop me from then having a biscuit, for example, and I know I'm getting 20 grams of protein with that. But if your day looks like 2 Skinny Whip bars, and I'm not suggesting this is what anyone's day looks like, but if your day is 2 Skinny Whip bars, a Fiber Now and a chocolate mousse every day, I'm going to tell you your meals aren't big enough, because that's nearly 500 calories on sweet treats. Okay, sweet treats which really don't have any nutritional value apart from probably the protein chocolate mousse. Okay. And for some of you, because we've got some women in here who, just like me, aren't, hugely tall, that is like a third of your daily allowance in terms of food. So what I would like you to focus on is making your meals bigger rather than topping up with these sweet treats throughout the day. And actually it goes for any kind of snack that you're having. Even if you're snacking 3 or 4 times a day on fruit, that tells me your meals aren't big enough. Okay, so I would like you to be focusing on making your meals bigger. Okay, that's all of the questions. That's all of the admin. If there are any more questions, then please do reach out to me. You can either reach out on the group, or if it is a little bit more personal and specific to you and you'd rather not share it, then you can reach out to me personally. I'm really looking forward to cracking on, and I hope that you have enjoyed all of the content that you have received so far. Let's smash this, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.